Happy National Signing Day. I tell you what, we're getting closer and closer to where this day is becoming a national holiday, and it's a pretty good, awesome deal. And I think when you look at the culture of our country and how football is certainly defined a lot of our sporting culture, I think everybody gets excited about the new starts, and this is young men making decisions to further their education and their college football careers at their chosen school. And we're extremely excited about this group of guys that we have coming in this fall. I think anytime I get an opportunity just to thank our president, Dr. Sloan, I don't want to pass that up. Several years ago, whenever football was announced to come on this campus, and Robert Sloan and our athletic director, Steve Maniaci, made some of the bold decisions to bring football here. I'm sure there are some people that wondered, could football have a chance to really thrive and then really excel at a place like HBU, such a young university. And it's exciting to see how I believe in a short amount of time, football has had such a positive impact on the HBU campus and the community and just the student life at large. And we are just grateful and excited every day that I drive to work to be a part of this HBU family. So just with a lot of great appreciation for Dr. Sloan and Steve Maniaci that I kind of stand here today. I think when you kind of look at a third signing class, most people would probably think that you wouldn't make such a big deal out of it. It's just another signing class. But with two great early signing classes, the year one and year two, that were really large classes, almost 30 kids in each class, almost extensively freshman players, we felt like by having a large freshman classes in those first two that we would bring a certain amount of culture based on hard work, high character, men committed to academic integrity, and be that visual, that brand on this campus that others would see as football as a positive, in a positive light. And I believe that our two freshman classes that we have brought in to date have done a phenomenal job of that. This class represents a little bit of a unique class in the sense that we've gone out and almost half this class are older players, junior college players. And it was a big goal and a big drive of ours. And I look forward to here in a moment to be able to really speak to that class. There's a group of men in this room, our coaching staff here, that I get a chance to work with every day that I am so grateful for. When you look at our players and they look at a coach, they look at you with such a hungry eye of wanting to be coached. They're wanting for you as a coach to help them get to where they want to go because football is their passion. And for many right now, football may be a greater passion than becoming a really educated man. And at some point in time in their college career, that light switch kind of shines brighter. But for a lot of our young men, they chose HBU to come here in order to play for this group of men that I get a chance to work with. They are tireless work ethic guys. It's amazing when I talk to other coaches and they come back and says, "Coach, we see HBU everywhere in this state. And is there anywhere y'all don't recruit?" And it's because of just the tireless nights. I know that I may be sitting back at my home in January talking to, on more than one occasions, coaches driving at 12 and 1 o'clock at night, and I know they're still a couple hours away from the next school they're going to be at 8 o'clock the next morning. And that's a commitment to HBU. And it's a commitment to our program and winning. And I could go on, but I feel very fortunate and very grateful for all the guys that I get a chance to work with every day. When you look at a football program growing, what you're looking for is you're looking for recruiting, where you're bringing new players in the program, and you're looking at taking existing players in your program, and you're trying to develop them. All right, the goal is every recruiting class is to out-recruit the existing players in your program. The goal of existing players in our program and the coaches as us who work with them is to out-develop those guys or develop those guys in such a way that they can't be out-recruited. All right, so as both of those kind of pieces of the recruiting puzzle and the development puzzle of the athletes in your program grow, your roster really, really quickly improves. That is the greatest challenge we face here at HBU to compete in the Southland Conference is to grow an athletic roster that competes well in the Southland, but do it in such a way that each one of these men are a great fit for HBU. And HBU is a special place. Not every young man will feel at home here. And that's not to sit there and say that this university may polarize against certain guys. It's just simply put, we are a culture that is based on a lot of students on this campus choosing to be at HBU because they believe in something better, all right? And they believe in a purpose and a cause for being here, that being educated is important, and being successful as a young man, young woman is really critical to their success. And so finding that athlete that's well-balanced is really critical, and we spend a lot of time. I think as a coach and staff, you look at recruiting, you're trying to evaluate and put a measurable grade on a player's heart, all right? Because I believe heart is a talent that's measurable. You're looking to see whether a player has a competitive spirit. When they face adverse moments, will they fight and compete, or will they become, soft? And so we're trying to find those guys that are going to be great men that one day when they leave HBU, that they'll make a difference in their lives, of their families, and in their communities. I think that when we look at this class, we see a class of 15 as having signed 11 today, and a total number in the class of 13. We brought 2 players in at midterm, and I'll get a chance to speak to those here briefly. But collectively, the 2015 class represents a group of 7 freshman signees, and all 7 of those freshmen come from the state of Texas. We bring in 6 junior college players, of which 3 of them come from the state of California, and 1 by birth is from Nashville, Tennessee. So we bring in a little bit more of a national scope with the transfer athlete. In large part, we looked at our 2 classes we brought in. Represents about 56, 57 scholarship players in our program this past fall, of about the 100 or so that we had in our program. We looked at the number of scholarships available. Obviously, with 2 major classes in the NCAA caps on scholarship, we were not going to be able to sign a significant class. We were starting to push up to the maximum number of allowable scholarships, which is a great thing for this program, that our numbers are now. And that can't happen without a university being committed funding-wise to helping us reach those goals. This class represents a group that each one of these young men fit a real specific profile for every spot that we recruited. Particularly talking about the JC guys, we wanted to go out and bring in a quarterback that could compete, and certainly if he's the best, to be our starter. We wanted to do some things to improve our age on the offensive line. We wanted to see our linebacker core become an older linebacker core, and then we want to bring some age to our wide receiver core. So when we start looking at our junior college signees we brought in, they represent the players that were at the very highest levels in our on our recruiting board, all right, the very best that we had. And frankly, I kind of stand before you today pretty amazed at the quality of athlete that we brought in. The high school guys represent a very talented group. I think when you look at the size, one of the big things we want to do, we want to become a longer football team, a team of greater length. Some of that gets measured in just height. Some of it gets measured in arm span. All right, length generally creates a more powerful athlete using leverage and ability to put weight on a longer body over the course of his career as he grows and develops. And so length was a big part, and that group really resembles a long group of athletes. And in a little bit, we get a chance to look at some of the height and weights. You'll see what I'm referring to. There's a state championship. Nick Smith, who I'll speak about here in a little bit, at Gilmer High School, perfect season. And I'm not sure how many state championships that is there for the guys at Gilmer, but certainly that's one of the most historic programs in the state of Texas. And then we had a chance to sign a wide receiver, Rico Barnett, out of Trinity Valley Junior College here in our state. Undefeated, set every offensive record in junior college this year that you just about speak of on their way to their national title. So we feel really excited that you bring in 2 national title or a state title and a national title into this class. Rico Barnett would be, and I'm going to go through them alphabetically, but Rico Barnett is a wide receiver out of Trinity Valley Junior College here in Athens, and truly one of the great junior colleges in our country. Is a product of Decaney High School and in this city, so he's a Houston talent. Rico is 6'5", 200 pounds, and he is a beautiful, beautiful looking human being. He can run like a gazelle, and he has great ball skills. And the university community will get to know Rico Barnett pretty quickly here in the fall. He is a special athlete and was by far and away our #1 junior college wide receiver on our board. And we were pretty ecstatic the day that he committed to us. Michael French is a defensive end out of West Columbia. He is a very talented, very athletic young lineman that has what we feel like is a great fast twitch quality. He is 6'3", 250, so he's got size right now quality, but he's going to be a significant grown man here in a couple years. And so we are excited about Michael French. Aaron Gonzalez is out of Wichita Falls High School in Wichita Falls. And he has Coach Jordan on our staff every week for the month of December and January. Drove between here and Wichita Falls every week, and I think Coach Jordan probably has that road memorized pretty well by now. But we had a lot of success. We brought in several kids to visit campus from Wichita Falls, and so it's a credit to Coach Jordan's effort there. But Aaron Gonzalez there from Wichita Falls is a tremendously athletic offensive tackle. When you look at the challenge of an offensive tackle, and you look even at the NFL draft, the number of tackles that are drafted, you see the need for great athletic ability to move in space because of just the speed off the edge that they have to be able to pass protect and the ability to work downfield. So Aaron is one of those guys who has great athletic skill. He's at 6'3", 281 when he visited us 2 weeks ago on campus, so he's a young guy for 17 years of age. And the sky's the limit on just how big and how talented that we believe Aaron will be in our program. Kendrick Johnson is a defensive end from Navarro Junior College. Went to Ellison High School there in Killeen, a great high school program in this state. I think when you kind of look at junior college linemen in the state of Texas this year, certainly Kendrick was one of the very top junior college players, strong, athletic. We actually had recruited him 2 years ago at a high school, fell in love with him, would love to have had him. He had a couple issues there with maybe some academic things that did not allow him to come to HBU at that time. Went to a junior college, and it's wonderful when you have a long relationship with a young man and chooses to come to your school a couple years later. Tyler Kelly is a tight end out of the Fort Worth area. I think you look at a guy who's 6'4", 6'4 and a half, 230 pounds, and is exceptionally athletic, runs so well for a big, tall guy, great ball skills, and certainly when you look at athletic, big frame tight ends, he is what you want to recruit. And we are very excited about not only the athlete he is now, but looking at him growth-wise where he'll be. Great family, and we are confident that Tyler will be a guy that will really help us as we begin to grow our tight end core here. Terrence Manderville is a linebacker out of La Puente, California, went to Citrus College. He was an all-conference player in the Foothill Conference. In California, when you look at JCs, the Foothill Conference may be the very best conference in all of California. California has about 30 junior colleges that play football, so it's a big state to pull talent from. Terrence was first team all-conference. He's an extremely athletic player. He's a 6'2", 220-pound linebacker with great movement skills, a very tough guy, but one of the incredible soft-hearted gentlemen that I've ever had a chance to be on. He's an interesting guy when you talk about being a hard-nosed linebacker that has great civil qualities about him. And we fell in love with him on our visit. Back in December when I met him for the first time, I just wanted to just pray to God that we have a chance to sign that guy because I fell in love with him early on. And we are blessed to have Terrence in our program. David Racine is a wide receiver out of Cedar Ridge High School there in the Round Rock, North Austin area. One of the most talented hurlers in the state of Texas. This guy is faster than fast. You better not blink too long in Husky Stadium because you won't see this guy run very, very long. He's an extremely beautiful athlete, a nearly 6'3" wide receiver. Here again you see the 6'5" wide receiver in Rico Barnett, a 6'3" receiver in David Racine, and very, very athletic. We expect David to come in along with Rico from day one, make an impact in our program as we work to improve our ability to throw the ball downfield. Nicholas Smith is a cornerback from Gilmer. You don't find too many 6'2" and a half defensive backs that are very athletic. He is extremely athletic, extremely athletic. He's a guy that I'm not sure what they have in the water around Gilmer, Texas, But whatever they have there, I want some because it makes you fast. And Nick is the only freshman corner that will be in this signing class, and because of his athletic ability, we feel like he will compete very early in our program. Mason Thompson is a young offensive tackle out of Clear Falls High School here down in League City. Mason is one of those little small guys at about 6'3" and about 315 pounds. He's amazing how well he runs. I can tell you that over the last few weeks, been across the state, and Coach O'Dana recruited him and knows from our travels, when you run into other college schools and maybe programs that you might say are at a larger conference than maybe the Southland, and they want to talk about this guy, Mason Thompson, that HBU has committed, wondering how in the world they're going to get this guy unlocked from HBU. And we're not going to let that happen, and we didn't. And he's a tremendously talented player and beautiful family, and it's great to have another Greater Houston kid in our program. Tyler Wildman is an offensive tackle out of Saddleback College, out of Dana Hills, California, down in the South Orange County area. Saddleback College is one of the national premier junior colleges. Tyler was highly recruited, was committed to a FBS school. He had probably 6 to 8 FBS offers in the month of December. You just sometimes hope that you can kind of tell your story in such a way that a recruit will look at you and sit there and say, there's something about that school and that coaching staff. And through the month of December, as our staff spent some time out there in Orange County, and I'll tell you a real quick story about Tyler. The first time I met him is early December, and he pulls up in the pouring rain in Southern California, and he has no doors and no windows in his Jeep. And when you see a guy hop out of his Jeep and he's 6'5" and 340 pounds, that is a big man hopping out of a Jeep, soaking wet and doesn't care. And so for an offensive line to have that kind of mentality, you just got to love them. But Tyler's a highly recruited guy. We're very fortunate, and he'll make a significant impact, not only in his ability, but his leadership skills and his maturity in how he relates to people will have an impact. It's kind of a very much a big brother mentality with our offensive line. The last of the signees that signed today that I'd like to visit with is Avery Wright. He's a linebacker out of Rowlett High School there in the Rockwall, Dallas area, Garland area. And Avery is a 200 meters guy, very fast track guy for a linebacker at 6'2", about 210 pounds. And when you look at guys who can run that well, they're tall, long linebackers, you know that you've helped yourself in terms of your ability on defense to play in space. Avery is a beautiful athlete, but he's also just one of those great people. He's got a great family. He's a great student. And we expect Avery, because of his athletic ability, to come in and significantly help us as we begin to kind of transition and do some different things defensively, scheme-wise. I do want to kind of mention two individuals there as I wrap up. We did have two midterm transfers. Quarterback Max Staver was a young man that was one of truly the rare few top quarterbacks in the nation that came out 2 years ago. I won't make advertisement for the schools he chose, but something about those Florida Gators, I guess, that like good quarterbacks. But he chose Florida over Alabama, and that was his short list. Truly was probably, when you look at national quarterbacks, at the very, very smallest group of players. 6'5.5", 240-pound line quarterback don't come around very often. He has a tremendous arm talent. When you look at guys who make decisions to leave, because sometimes different offensive styles come to a program, and what happened was at Florida, his coordinator changed over. They were going a different direction. They wanted more of a Tim Tebow running quarterback, and Max is an NFL passer. And so sometimes those quarterbacks have to kind of go find the next place that fits their athletic style. And so we feel very fortunate. Max came out of Tyler Junior College here in the state and is on campus. It's amazing how well he's meshing with our current student athletes. I haven't had a chance to probably spend so much time football-wise as I will in the next day or two ahead, but certainly he's a high football IQ guy, and we believe that he's one of those significant guys that come along. There'll be good stories later to tell as to his recruiting story, and And I'm sure here the first day of spring ball, many people will want to enjoy capturing that story, because it truly is his journey, and why he's here is one that all of us will feel good about at this university. And then the last player that I'll mention that was a mid-year guy is Dorian Turner, also out of Citrus College there in Southern California. Went to West Covina High School there in the Inland Empire. He's also first-team All-Conference with his teammate, Terrence Manorville, which I mentioned earlier, there in the Foothill Conference. And so we have two of the very best linebackers in Southern California, JCs, coming in our program. Doran is extremely athletic. He's a phenomenal individual, and it's just great to see these guys that come in from out of state and immediately have an impact in the culture of our program. And so we're grateful at being here. Once again, I want to thank so many individuals. There are men and women in this room that without their effort and their willingness to come in and spend time on their Saturdays during the year, they make a difference. Just to mention a few there real quick, when you look at Ted Silheimer, Jake Wonders, Megan Moeller, and the Smith and Bottoms, the academic arm that comes in and supports our athletes on this campus is phenomenal. And for an athlete, if they just come 50% of the way, that support element comes the other half. When you look at the faculty that give of their Saturdays to come in here and visit with our student athletes that visit on campus and their families, it's a gift that they give to this university in this program. And so we are significantly a better place because of these individuals that I work with. And so just know that there are so many that I can probably fail to mention them all, but we're very grateful for all that y'all do, and you make a huge difference. So this signing class, y'all are part of our staff, and I want y'all to smile and enjoy the day, because this is a good day for the Huskies. Thanks, there.